One of the last things that I bought is this little beast over here, the Elektron Syntakt, which I absolutely love. And oh my god, I've been using it a lot and I've been sampling it a lot. This thing is fantastic for creating droney type of stuff. Ambient tracks is a great groove box. You can get some really unique percussions and is a really capable device. One of the reasons why I bought it was that it supports Overbridge. If you're not familiar with the world of Elektron machines, Overbridge is essentially a software and a set of plugins that basically allow you to control your Elektron machine directly from your DAW. It's absolutely fantastic. You can essentially use it as a plugin, as a virtual instrument, control your instrument there, and more importantly, you can get 16 separate outputs. So one output for each of the 16 tracks that this little machine spits out, even if it has only a stereo left and right output. And obviously this is great for sampling and for mixing, and it's great for us media composers because you can have a lot of flexibility and very much have the best of both worlds, the digital world, the computer world, and the outboard gear stuff. I didn't find a lot of information on how to set up Overbridge on Cubase, which I guess is not the typical digital audio workstation of the target market of the Elektron Syntakt. So let's do this together. I want to show you how you can set up Overbridge quite easily in Cubase. Okay, let's do it. So very first thing that you need to do is to download Overbridge. You find it on the Elektron website. You go to downloads and you download it. It's a very easy process. You run the installer and it's done. And then you need to make sure that the Overbridge engine is running before you open Cubase or whatever is your DAW of choice to do this thing. Once you've done that, you're good to go in the DAW. Now, once you're in Cubase, you can actually add a new track and you add it as a virtual instrument. So it shows under instrument tracks and you open just the plugin Syntakt from Elektron, or I'm using the Syntakt here again, but this works with any Overbridge capable Elektron machine, and you add a track, it opens the plugin, and you see that you're basically able to control every parameter of your machine via the plugin, which is absolutely amazing. This obviously provided that your Elektron machine is connected via USB to your computer. And you also go here on project synchronization setup, and you need to make sure that the destination is set to Elektron Syntakt. In this way, they will be synced up very easily. And once I press play, now we should have a sound and we should run the sequencer of my Syntakt that is on my back. And we do have a sound, which is pretty cool. I would really like to have separate outputs from this so that I can process them separately, I can sample them separately. This is what I want to do. So let's do that. Doing this is a very similar process than activating multiple outputs to something like Kontakt or Machine from native instruments. You simply go on VST, activate the outputs, you go on all outputs, and now you should have 16 different outputs that show up over here as separate tracks. Here you have your 12 stereo tracks that are available in Syntakt. Then you get an FX track as a separate track, then your delay and reverb as AUXes, which is great because you automatically get everything dry, which is fantastic if you want to do some further mixing, or if you like me, you're using this stuff to sample separate tracks a lot. And you also have the input left and right Syntakt as one stereo input where you can process external sounds through the Syntakt. And then you also get a simple stereo mix. In fact, this should simply be called stereo mix or something like that, but it just takes the name from the first track. Now if I press play, I should have a sound, which I do, and now the signal is slightly hot because I'm actually getting stuff as duplicated. So I have both the stereo mix playing back and also the other 15 separate tracks. So let's solo it for a second. And this is my stereo mix as it comes out from the Syntakt, which is great, but now I can't record it. So we need to set up a way so that we can play in real time, record them, and then edit stuff, and if you want to mix it further or sample it. This process is longer in Cubase than in other DAWs, but let's find out how you do it. So in Cubase, to do this, first of all, we want 16 audio tracks, and we obviously want them stereo, and let's them be 16, and let's name them in a way that makes sense for us. So here we have a stereo mix. Then I have my separate tracks. So I have track 1. I'm going to speed up this process so you don't have to stay here and bear with me. Okay, so now we have our external audio tracks. And now, unfortunately, I can't simply go on each one of these stereo outs. Let me bring here my mixer for a second and route them directly to my audio tracks. So what I need are a bunch of group tracks. So let's do that. Let's open some more tracks, and we go on groups, and we need 16 group tracks. We add them again, and we need to do exactly the same thing. And now the last step is to set every single MIDI track from the multi-output of the Syntakt to our group tracks. So this goes to track 1, this goes to stereo mix, and again I'm going to speed this one up as well. Okay, now this should be done. Let's play back. Let's check our signal flow. Okay, so now I'm getting a bunch of stuff, and this should work well because my group tracks are receiving some sound. So if I now arm those tracks and hit record, I should be able to record my loop. And there was obviously some tracks are empty because I don't have absolutely nothing in there, but let's check the effects track, for example. These are my analog effects, overdrive and filter sequenced, and this should be my kick drum if I remember well. It is, and here I also have my stereo mix as a reference. So this is pretty cool. And now obviously go in Cubase and save this as a template so that you don't need to do it again every single time that you want to record something. For me, Overbridge completely changed my workflow because I can sample a lot of stuff much more easily without muting single tracks. And again, you know that I'm a big believer in making your own contact instrument and use this stuff in your scores. Now I made just a random loop, but the Syntakt is great. You can make ambient stuff. It's great for drony type of sounds. You can get really unique, and you can have the flexibility of separate tracks thanks to this. Thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate if you could subscribe so that you can be notified when I put a new video up, and I'll see you next time.